Alright, use the correction of this AC here. Make sure your name is on there. This is in vertex form. Okay, so we can get our vertex from it, right? So this would be -4, -10. So the only thing that changes is this sign here. 1 mark. So unless I tell you otherwise, everything is worth 1 mark. Could you have used your calculator on this one? Absolutely. I think you will spend a lot of time on it. So I actually entered it already. If you hit graph, I don't even see it. Right? If I do a standard zoom, I still don't see it. So now you have to chase it. Now you have to find a window. Now, right? It's going to take you a long time. But we know that this is pointing down, right? And we actually know that the vertex, if you look at your screen, it's -4, -10. So it's like somewhere here. So I need to make sure my y min is a little lower, right? So if I went -40 on the y min, sorry, what did I say? -4, sorry, I told you I'm going to be off to -4, -10 is there. So now you start seeing it, right? But it just takes a long time there. So would this open up or down? It would be down because A is negative. How many x-intercepts? Explain. None. Why is that? Because A and K have the same, right? Have same signs or something like that. The signs of A and K are the same. And just to make sure, right, you kind of want to just tell me that you know, right, that we know which ones we're referring to. The A is -2 and K is -10. Okay, so there we know that there won't be any. If you did even more than that, way to go. Like if you said, well, a -K means that you're below the x-axis, and a -A means you're pointing down, so it will never cross. That's even better. But today's short and sweet will do. For the shape of this parabola, it's what did you put down for that one? I meant to say the width. I don't know if you, let's just leave that one. We're just going to ignore that one. I should have said width. If you said horseshoe or anything like that, I would have taken it, but let's just leave that one. We'll take that one out. The equation of min or max, okay? There's only one. In this case, there's only a max, correct? So this one doesn't exist, so NA. It's going to be worth a mark because I need you to know that it doesn't exist, right? The maximum, the equation would be y is equal to, and it's simply the y value of the vertex, okay? And then the range, in this case, it would be y is less than or equal to -10, okay? Or if you chose to answer this way, that is fine. Okay. So again, the reasoning here is the range you're blocking it off up here. This is at -10, right? And then it goes down from there. That's the reasoning. So y is less than or equal to -10. Okay. Axis of symmetry, that is the equation of the axis of symmetry, and it is given to us by the x value of the vertex. Okay. So you might want to have something like that on your study sheet, where you say that this is my vertex, which is, it's a coordinate, right? It's a point. And this gives you the axis of symmetry. This gives you the equation of either min or max, okay? And if you need even more detail, min would only exist if it faces up. A max only exists if it's facing down. So if you need to add that to your study sheet, go for it. Okay. State the y-intercept. So you could have used your calculator on that one. You can also just plug it in. So we could say y is equal to -2, 0 plus 4 squared minus 10. That would be -2 times 4 squared is 16, -10. -2 times 16 is -32 minus 10, so it's -42. Okay. So you either did it this way, or you went second trace value, right? second trace value, x is equal to 0, you also get negative 42. I don't right now, I don't see it on my screen, but it's there. Okay. What value of a would result in a wider parabola? So you could say anything between 0 and 1 like this, or you can just be specific and say, right, if you give me a specific example where it's something between 0 and 1, I'm okay with that. If this is your, so again, we're focusing on vertex form. If this is the equation, state a value of k so that there are no x-intercepts. So all you have to do is make sure that this is positive. So example, k could be 2, 2,000, it could be 450, so positive values, positive values. And if you said it has to be a positive value, today I will be fine with that, but I did say state a value of k. So next has a range. So this has a range of y is less than or equal to 4. So if it's y is less than, we know that this thing is pointing down. Right? That's like if it's greater than, we know it's pointing up. So less than 4, that means that a would have to be negative. Okay? So if you circled negative or you wrote down negative, you're fine. State the standard form of the quadratic function. And so all I need you to do here is to just be aware that this is the standard form of it. Okay? I will say today, if you did give me a specific example, I would be fine with that because you understand what I'm referring to. Okay? State this in standard form. So basically you just want to bring everything over to one side. So if you did that, 6x squared minus 7x squared minus 4x, right? This one is there. This one comes over adding. This one comes over subtracting. That's equal to 0. So now you combine like terms. So you'd have a negative x squared minus 2x minus 8. So that's equal to 0. So this is what I should be seeing. And it's all or nothing, okay? Okay, I have to say this. If you brought everything over to the other side, then the signs will be exactly opposite to this, and that's fine. So if you have x squared plus 2x plus 8 equal to 0, you're okay. You got full marks there. State the quadratic formula. Oh boy, is this going to work? Let's see. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so if you have that there, you get the mark as well. It shows me that you have that on your study sheet. 16, we'll do that on the back side. And here's where I want to make sure I spend a little bit of time showing you how to do this. Okay, so that's what we start off with. So you'll get 1 mark for rewriting it correctly. If you make even one mistake, today will go -1. I know it's a little harsh, but you get the marks thereafter. Okay. So 10x squared, this one comes over. That'd be negative 6x squared. This one is already there, so you keep the sign, right? This one comes over, subtracting. So I try to kind of pair up my x squares, my x's, and then this one comes over as well, adding. Okay? And now you have nothing over on the right side, so that's equal to 0. This combines and gives you 4x squared. This combines and gives you negative 12x, and then the 8 just stays there. Are we good? I got it right? I'm pretty sure I got it right. So that's a mark there for that. And now it's going to be tricky. So now you're the teacher, you're going to follow through. So if you made a mistake, so let's say you went negative 6 plus 7, so you have plus x, right? It's just 1x. Obviously yours is going to be completely different. I always check when you do this on the test, and I have to follow your work. So that's just the nature of this thing. So I go, let's state the values, and you insert that. So b is negative 12. So it's right? The negative is already there. meaning that negative that's going to turn positive in a bit. Also, when you insert this, you insert the negative 12 in there. When you square a negative, do you remember what happens? Always turns positive, right? Because it's negative times negative, basically. Minus 4 times A times C, all of that divided by 2 times A. So here, I now go by what you have, okay? Keep that in mind. Cleaning this up gets you 1 mark. So inserting, not quite yet, but I also need it to be cleaned up. So 12 positive plus or minus. When you type this in, I'll show you this because that's where a lot of the mistakes happen, okay? So I use brackets, negative 12 squared minus 4 times 4 times 8. And you get 16. All of that over 8. So if you get it to this part, and obviously if you got different numbers, you probably don't have a nice 16 in there. That's okay. And so now x1 will be found by, we know that this is 4, but I'm just going to do it this way. So here's where you're going to get another half mark. So 12 plus, I'll just go 4, okay? Root of 16 is 4. Divided by 8. That'll be 2. You don't need to stay 2, 0. If you just have x is equal to 2, you're fine. So this gives you half a mark. And then the x2 is going to be 12 minus root of 16 over 8. So x2, and you just do the opposite, right? Some of you don't even need a calculator for this. But you subtract whatever you get here, which is 4, and then you divide that answer by 8, so you get 1. And that's 1, 0. Okay. This is also worth half a mark. So we've got 1, 2, right, for cleaning it up, and then half and half. So 3 in total. So, okay, like if you rearranged incorrectly, that's minus 1, 2 out of 3 max that you can get. Then I would follow through, and so now I'm just going to trust you, right, that you actually plugged it in right and you did the work thereafter correctly. If you are fairly confident you did that correctly, then you still get 2 marks there out of 3, right? So that's it for this one. So what are we at in total? 3 and... I scratched 4, right? We crossed off 4. So, hold on, give me 1 second. So this is 14 then, right? 14 all the way to here is 14. So we're going to say 14 up to there, and then the 16 we did on the back side, which is worth 3, right? So 14 and 3 is 17 total.